In this video, we're going to start an introduction into the concept of true self or higher self, as some people would say, your truest higher self. So understanding the true self, right? The concept of true self is referring to your higher self, your inner self, or your most authentic self, right? It is the essence of who you are beyond the physical form, beyond this physical reality, or your social identity, right? Or the roles that we're playing in life. Your true self is your core being, connected to the universal consciousness and embodying our deepest truths, our wisdom, and purpose. So how do we distinguish your true form from your lower form, or true self, higher self, from your lower self? So to understand the true self, right, it's important that we differentiate it from the lower self. The lower self is often associated with the ego self, right? It is the aspect of our consciousness that is shaped by our experiences, conditioning, and this material world, like we said. It is the part of us that seeks validation, security, control. The lower self is driven by fear, desires, and the need for external approval, right? Often leading to behaviors rooted in survival instincts or reactive patterns, right? So in contrast to that, the higher self or true self, it transcends these kinds of limitations. It's not concerned with the societal norms or external achievements. Instead, it aligns with our inner values, our spiritual truths, and the interconnectedness of all life. So understanding and knowing that we are all connected, right? The true self operates from the place of love, compassion, unity, and it guides us towards our highest potential and authentic expression, right? So how can we identify the characteristics of our true selves, higher selves? Like I said, one is unconditional love and compassion. The true self embodies a profound sense of love and compassion for oneself, yourself, and others. It recognizes the inherent worth and divinity in all beings, fostering a sense of empathy and kindness, right? Also, inner wisdom and intuition, right? Connected to universal consciousness, the true self possesses deep inner wisdom and intuition. It provides insight, guidance that aligns with our soul's purpose, often perceived through like gut feelings, dreams, and moments of clarity, especially when you're in the state of presence, like being present, fully in the now, right? That's when those things kind of come in, right? You're in the now. You're not really concerned with the external world. You're just connected to your inner being, your inner self, your truest form, right? Another characteristic is authenticity and integrity, right? The true self encourages us to live authentically, honoring our true desires, values, and beliefs. It prompts us to act within integrity, aligning our actions with our inner truths. So if you find that your actions is not in alignment with your inner truth, you're not behaving in a way that is authentic to your true self. You're probably more in alignment with your lower self. And so that needs to be looked at and considered. Another characteristic would be peace right? So it's free from the ego's fears or anxieties, right? The truest self experiences a state of inner peace and equilibrium almost. I don't know if that's the right word, but it lives in a state of inner peace. It's centered, it's calm. Even when there's chaos or challenges, it's calm, it's okay, it's not concerned. Another characteristic would be creativity and joy, right? The true self is a source of boundless creativity and joy. When we connect with this aspect of ourselves, we tap into a wellspring almost, right? Of inspiration, right? And actually find we appreciate the simple things in life. Like simple things bring us pleasure or appreciation. It's probably the better word. So those are some of the characteristics of your true self, your higher self, right? So how do we discover this true self? We spend so long being shaped and conforming to certain conditioning, and also taking into account so much influence of the external that we kind of get lost in the sauce, or we've drowned out our truer selves. And we've considered so much the external world, the opinions of others, the conditioning that we have been subject to both knowingly and unknowingly, right? How do we now discover our true selves? How can we make that connection again to be able to access that and remain in that, right? Discovering and connecting with your true self is I think, a long life journey. It requires self-awareness, introspection, and spiritual practice. Some of the steps that you can take on this kind of journey is, like I said, self-reflection and awareness, right? Begin to cultivate self-awareness through practices like meditation, journaling, mindfulness. These practices help quiet the mind and create a space for inner reflection, allowing us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment. These moments are important. They are necessary. That quieting of the mind, allowing thoughts to come in and come out without judgment. Without judgment, right? Connecting with yourself. Looking for that space of quiet, of peace, of love. All of the characteristics that you were mentioning, right? So that's one way that we can, take steps on the journey to discovering and cultivating that connectedness to your truest self, right? Another way is identifying and healing the ego. So recognizing patterns, which I firm believer in observing the patterns, paying attention to those patterns. That also requires you to be mindful, right? So recognizing patterns and beliefs of the lower self that no longer serve your highest good, right? So engage in shadow work to explore and heal unresolved emotional wounds, limiting beliefs, conditions of behaviors. This process involves acknowledging and integrating the shadow aspect of the self, leading to greater wholeness and self-acceptance. This is important ingredient. You have to be able to pay attention to those patterns. Those patterns are key that let you know where you are. If you're more closer, not more closer, if you're closer in your lower state, or if you're moving more into your higher state, right? What's coming up? What are the patterns that are coming up, right? And doing the work, the shadow work that is necessary to integrate those parts of yourself and then do that assessment. Is this serving me? Is what I'm experiencing right now, is my feeling, or is this person or this environment, is it serving my highest good? Not make those adjustments, right? Another thing is connecting with inner wisdom. So fostering a connection with your inner wisdom and intuition. This can be achieved through practices, again, like meditation, visualization, and connecting with nature, paying attention to intuitive insights and inner guidance, trusting the message from your higher self. A lot of us, we have a hard time trusting ourselves, trusting that thing that doesn't have evidence behind it, right? Because that's the difference between, it's not instinct. trauma response and intuition. Trauma response has an external situation. It has a reason behind it, right? It has a logical reason behind it. Intuition it doesn't need logic. It's a knowing. It's just a knowing. It doesn't need logic. It doesn't need a cosigner. Right? It doesn't need that. It doesn't, it doesn't require that. And that's hard for a lot of people to trust. So trying to foster the connection with your inner wisdom and intuition requires you to do that meditation, visualization. And, nature is a great way as well to connect with that. So that's very important. Very, 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 very. Another thing that you can do is, again, embrace authenticity. Commit to living authentically, expressing your true self in all areas of your life. This involves aligning your actions with your core values, speaking your truth, and pursuing passions that resonate with your soul. This is deeply important. Anyone on a spiritual journey that is not attempting to live authentically, you're doing yourself a disservice. What's the term I like to use? You are betraying yourself. You're not honoring yourself. Honor yourself. Honor yourself. Be truthful with yourself. Express your true self. Do not block that. Don't shut up. And expressing your true self. Right? And finally, cultivating spiritual practices. I've kind of been saying that all along with the meditation, visualization, and all these other things, like engaging in spiritual practices that nourish your connection to true self. This can include yoga, energy healing, prayer, or any practice that deepens your spiritual awareness and connection to the divine. This is it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. So what are the benefits, right, of connecting with your true self? Connecting with your true self brings profound benefits, transforming our inner and outer lives, right? It leads to greater self-acceptance, inner peace, fulfillment. By aligning with our true self, we experience a sense of purpose and direction, making decisions that resonate with our deepest truths, right? This alignment fosters harmonious relationships as we interact with others from a place of love and authenticity. Now, when I say place of love and authenticity, I want to pause here for a second, because a lot of people think unconditional love means that you have to engage with people. It's not true. Sometimes me loving you unconditionally has nothing to do with me engaging with you. I can love you unconditionally and go, you know what? I don't need you in this space. This doesn't serve me. Again, honoring your true self, right? Being authentic. I love you. I want the best for us to be flourish, right? It's always from a place of love and authenticity. It also enhances our resilience and capacity to navigate life's challenges with grace, So the concept of true self invites us to look beyond the superficial aspects of our identity and connect with the essence of who we truly are. It challenges us to transcend the ego and fears and embrace a life guided by inner wisdom, authenticity, and unconditional love. By embarking on this journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth, we can uncover the profound depths of our being and realize our divine nature, and as well as fulfill our highest potential. We are more than the concepts and conditioning that we've been programmed with. We're more than these 3D identities. And getting to know and connecting with your true self is a beautiful journey. It's an ever-growing, it's a lifelong thing. It's not a one and done. I everything in life has ups and downs. So it's not a one and done. It's something that requires intention. You have to be intentional about it. You have to put in motion towards it. And when I say put in motion, meaning I'll say this, and I am always saying this in different scenarios, but if you are, let's say, 25 years old, you've had 25 years of conditioning, 25 years of people telling you who and what you are and what you should and should not do. You've had 25 years of believing that all that there is of you is this identity. You need to put motion behind the opposite. You need to put motion behind the truth of the thing, right? To combat that thing. So that means that if you are spending 25 years believing that you are no good or worthless, you need a practice or sets of practices that can work in the opposite, that is going to stop the lies, right? And bring you closer to truth, right? You're not our thoughts, you're not our lies. You are our truest forms connected to the universal consciousness, right? God and Goddess, right? And so that is what I wanted to discuss with you guys today. This is really important because a lot of the times we get stuck, especially in the should do and shouldn't do's of it all. That's because we're still operating in our lower selves. So identifying what the true self is and cultivating practices that will get us closer to that, I feel is truly important. I hope that you all are doing well. If you are following me, I thank you. If you are new and haven't yet to begin following, I pray that you do. If you're following on, a podcast, hit that follow button. You can follow me on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you're notified. And I will see you guys in the next one.